I'm an earthworm woman. In the mornings, I fill my tanks by breathing the energy of the sea and tasting the power of the sun penetrating my skin. There's an air of no care, which comes with age, and I hold my head up proudly, liking who I've become. I'm not afraid of smells, or dirt, or to walk barefoot across the stones. Sometimes I wade through the shallow water just to embrace its fluid element, my hair often crazy and loose, being pulled by and flying in the wind. I can be glamorous if I want to, although makeup was never my thing. And I've learnt that life is for living, not fearing, and so I absorb it like a sponge. Grand rising, everyone. I left that there for a minute because I was doing a little bit of promotion about Marooned. That's coming up in December, December the 12th and 13th. Now, this morning I have a man who lives in Melbourne, so we potentially call him an earthworm man, but not necessarily, because it doesn't always sound the best. But yeah, he's someone who's very much into health and all kinds of things I've been noticing lots of the things that he does, which I think I thought my microphone was off there for a sec. That are very inspiring, and we have to. It's really nice hearing people's stories and what they do, what sort of things they can pass on, what we can pass on. But just before that, I'm just going to go back to Marooned because this beautiful woman who lives up in somewhere, not allowed to say where because she wants to be anonymous, who has given me 4 tickets to Marooned to give away. She wants to donate them. The tickets are really cheap anyway, so they are $25, but I'm not saying that she's giving me 4, so that's great. And $50 to spend in the bistro. So if you are in the Corook area, Colac area, Geelong area, Apollo Bay, down that part, I'm not really sure what you call it down there. And you want to go and see, you like to go and see a very, very powerful piece of theatre, and I have to say that because these are the words that have been associated with it for a long time. It's a great play. It's about a sad subject, obviously suicide, but it's a really important subject, mental health, and specifically in that area because it's a farming community, and there's a really big problem with farmers and suicide. Yeah, that's a fact. So the play's really entertaining, though. I need to say that, and people get very surprised because they're laughing one minute, they may be crying the next, but they laugh a lot throughout it. Anyway, I'm in it, and I'm producing it, and we're rehearsing tonight, and just get it together like on a shoestring because we've got this got support from the farmers. So the National Centre for Farmers Health. That's the 12th and the 13th of December in Corook, if you want to come along. I'm just going to bring Brad in because it's not very fair leaving people out in the cupboard. So this, how do you pronounce your last name? Well, you don't have to say it. Brad. Marmion. Yeah. Where's that from? Sounds...
Origins, okay, it's very commonly associated with French. But again, the bloodline,
yeah. So I thought, actually, yes. Anyway, this is Brad, everyone. Just before I would like to just say, thinking of you, Denise Parr. Denise has opened a shop up in Townsville, and she's one of the people that supports Earthworm Woman. So I just want to say hi to her and sending love. Haven't met her either. All these people are we're just like people who we know each other, but we've never met, and that one day be a lovely thing. Anyway, so you tell me about yourself. I mean, whenever I look at your page, you're always you've got all these health tips, things you're making. You're very creative in the well, actually, no. Have you always been this way?
Have I always been this way?
Have you
We're
always
always
been
changing, aren't we?
into a health, what I call a health head? How's that?
We're always changing and growing, and one thing that's been important for me or has been flexibility.
Yeah,
So being able to grow and starting to mature and not become set in my ways, but
yeah.
becoming more dynamic, you would say, and living a more refined, healthy way, but embracing good routines, embracing really beautiful things, but also that element of spontaneity and bringing something new in and being
Mm.
willing to change.
Has it been more so the last 5 years? Because I mean, I think we're all we're looking. A lot of us are looking all the time for something, or especially to protect ourselves. But it just feels like a time to be at your peak, sort of one's peak health.
Well, yeah, the last 5 years, we've both come from Victoria, which is putting more of a
So,
challenge in the big global picture,
yeah.
putting that around various things that have happened. And to
Mm.
me, I was strongly affected by it. I sort of had a big shift around, and they didn't let me work because I didn't do the, what on
Mm.
earth that is.
Hmm.
And so that was it was a real question. It was a challenge, but it was also really, really rewarding. It was actually amazing and redefined myself. So
Yeah.
one big thing that I like doing is I'll embrace often being open and willing to allow a new, as I mentioned before, a new thing to come in.
Yeah.
So what's really enriching with that is when something new comes in and it almost completely changes my concept, my paradigm of what something is. But then it
Mm.
actually enriches my core values and it actually comes back and strengthens values that I've had in the past and ways that things that I've done.
It's actually
You
it's
meant
about trusting, isn't it, too? It's about trusting that, just if you feel that something is the way to go, trusting that it's the right way or to work will work out. What were you doing before? What
well, before I was working I was still always doing my things. I was still
Yeah,
playing.
yeah, yeah.
My background is in industrial design. So what that is, a
Mm,
lot of people don't know. It's essentially designing anything but building. So it's that merging between engineering and creative practice, and often
mm,
more in product design for manufacture or repeatability. So I've been doing various areas of that, but it is it's quite broad in itself. So I've always been involved in healthy living,
yeah,
permaculture, and permaculture design. So I've been involved in that on a practical sense, but also being, I've got 25-year-old, 30-year-old meditation pyramids made from copper and gold and using all principles of alchemy. So this
wow, that's
element
really
of,
interesting. When did you make those? You made them, you said?
yes, oh yeah, I love creating and making with my hands.
Mm,
Things get passed on through family, and my father's always made things, and my mother had this, you would say, alternative, if you sort of viewpoint on life, and I sort of
yeah.
merged a few of the two in my way.
Well, that's good. My parents were sort of a bit that way until they changed at the last minute, but they were always very alternative-ish. Um, but yeah, where's this? What tell us about the copper thing? Because copper is something we really. I keep forgetting. I've got to get a copper bottle.
Mm.
It's really
Um,
yeah.
copper. I've had copper bottles before, and I've turned away from them now. That's fascinating enough.
Mm.
I never liked the taste, especially when I mixed it with something like lemon. It was just, it sort of brings out a different element. But again, if it's cold, it's fine. Um, but yes, coming back to the pyramids
Yeah.
and making them. So I was structure and geometry had always fascinated me, and this element of esoteric, and that links in back to if you want to go into past lives and ideas about that and rememberings, you would say, which it doesn't matter if you believe in past lives or not. It's
Mm.
just it's a fascinating inkling which can give purpose for now. So that's an important thing. And even my idea of what past life was has completely changed in the last year. It's really quite incredible to, like I said, add these layers. But this brought me into this sense of alchemy and this sense of being able to transmute one thing to another. And
Yeah.
meditation is one thing that is hugely it's been hugely meaningful for me, developing that and creating aids to help, because that's a design thing to do. Creating
Mm.
aids to help focus and
Ah.
enable that is really quite beautiful, and you get very different things. So making something like a star tetrahedron, or people refer to it as a macabre field, that's this, it's almost an energetic spaceship for traveling, whereas you're making a pyramid, it's grounding. I've got some larger domes that I've done in an earth grid, which is people refer to Becker Hagen's grid, a few things. So it's a combination of an icosahedron, dodecahedron things. So it's not your typical geodesic dome that Buckminster Fuller does. But you've got these which I've made in some larger ones, a 4-meter, a 6-meter greenhouse, and a few other things. I'd love to make some
Mm.
studios. I've had some designs for those too. At
Wow.
times
So
that comes in.
I've seen something like, so some of this you do inside when you do a kind of a workshop or a meditation, is it? You
Yeah, well,
have it all.
I'll often take a smaller 2-meter pyramid. The 2 and 3-meter pyramids, the copper ones, they're packed down in poles. So
Mm.
I'll pop them up because it helps set the energy for the night, and it's really important when I do sound meditations and things, which is
Mm.
um, to set that, to actually create an energy together and build this sense of community. And often I try and run my events with multiple layers. So sound meditation is something that's really amazing, and that's been emerging probably in the last 8-9 years.
Mm.
And also the
Okay.
drum
Right.
making.
And the
Yeah,
drum
so
making workshops, yeah.
yes, there's the drum making as well. I've got a few drums here and all the rest. And that's been a really huge thing for me, that rhythm of life. So it's building multiple layers of depth. And this is where it comes into this field, how would you say, personal development. Um, there's this crossover that people kind of run and say, oh, that's New Age. And New Age has got this big, like, and often it is really fluffy. A lot of people the in the movement, in personal development,
Yeah.
don't have
Yeah.
this sense of accountability. They don't have a sense of
Mm.
practicality. It gets a bit fluffy, a bit fairy,
Yeah.
and then there's often a lot of money to be made from it too. And
Yeah.
everyone's got to find their way and have that balance, which is fair enough. To me, it's really important to actually come across in an authentic, all-rounded, earthed way, as you would do,
Mm.
earthworm woman,
So
in a practical sense.
how long would the like a meditation work, which you got a session with all of that, how long does it go for generally?
For my one-on-ones, I'll usually do that around an hour for most of the times. But for the
Mm.
um, and that can range depending on what it is. That's whether it's I can do more a shamanic sound meditation or a shamanic journey,
Mm.
or I can work with kinesiology and transitional therapies and things like that, working with various ranges, but often it works into this intuitive thing that you were referring to earlier. But
Mm.
through my offerings that I do, and I do them maybe once a month, every couple of months, I do
Mm.
a bigger one. Um, a sound meditation typically goes an hour, but then I would have these larger ones which go about 3.5 hours, and that's starting with a teaching. So that's really beautiful to do a teaching or a sharing. So it's something that's pertinent to the time. It could be, and I used to focus more on astrological happenings and things that are very current for the moment in that. But for me, what I often do now is just wait till, sometimes I know in advance, but often about at least 2 weeks beforehand, I'll know there's a predominant energy, there's a predominant thing that's happening in the world and in my life that is important for me to share. So what I'll do is introduce that as a topic, and I invite people who come along to explore that, to see how it relates to them, and if they want to adapt that as a focus for the night and for their own development. And this is something that can move on, and they can always spin it off in their way, because it's always relevant. Everything's always got to be relevant to us. So we start with this teaching and a sharing, and then we would move across to a sound. Yeah, then we move across to a cacao ceremony, and that's really beautiful. It's and I do that in my unique way, according to my rememberings. And I do straight cacao, so we double boil it, so it's coming in. It's kept at a very low temperature. Certified organic Peruvian cacao, of course, which is that just really beautiful and naturally sourced from local farms. So you know that that it's done in a really ethical and beautiful way, and that's a way of communing. And what we've done is that we often have a pyramid set up or something like that, and that pyramid and our discussion is setting this energetic theme. From that energetic theme that comes in, that potentizes in a real ceremony. So then we share and commune with cacao, and we have it straight. So it's really strong and really bitter. It's as medicine.
I didn't even know that we made cacao was in Australia. I thought it all came from overseas. Wow.
Well, it comes a lot of the time. It does come from overseas. That's where I got.
Yeah, but
I
it's
do
sourced.
source it from overseas.
Yeah. Victoria's asking, does astrology play a role in what? Victoria, can you elaborate, please? Wonder what she means by that.
I do see the comment down here. I can't see everything.
Yeah, no, it says, does astrology play a role? But I just don't know what she means. A role in what?
I would imagine that in the event sense, or in life, in everything, does astrology play a role? To my perception, it often does, but I don't focus on that. And like I'd said, that I run events often astrology. I used to be very focused on astrology. Now I focused on that's someone else who was saying. I was just
Kim's saying she was growing it. She was actually, I didn't realize she was growing it, and coffee.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can grow.
My
you
lovely
can grow
Kim.
it. You can grow cacao. It's beautiful. I think so, and it would be amazing, because when you grow anything, and that's coming back to that source in my own garden. Yet getting sidetracked here, but when anything we grow actually has our own energetic signature. So it actually really, you're growing it. Talked about growing with love, and that really potentizes through.
I'm just laughing because I live in a flat, but I have this area out the back, and it gets like suns, and I bought these organic tomato plants from Terra Madre, and so every night in the day I'm like, okay, you're moving over here now to the sun. Okay, guys, no, coming over here, and then at night I put them to bed because there's possums. They've tried to get everything. Oh, and a strawberry plant as well. So yeah, every night I put them to bed and I say, okay, I'll see you tomorrow, because I'm determined to grow something. The possums just eat everything. But yeah, I agree. Before here, I lived in a house in Coburg for a year, and we had a massive back garden. So I said, that's it. I'm going to create a vegetable garden, and I had these cauliflowers coming through, and tons of kale and silver beet and everything. It was really satisfying. Morning, Jennifer. Yeah, really satisfying.
Oh, it's a huge journey growing. Again, that's that side, and I do love hearing that. So anyone's journey, and it tastes beautiful, doesn't it?
Yeah. So Victoria was saying that the astrology, she meant about your practices. Does astrology play a role?
Yes, yeah. Astrology does come into it. I do look at predominantly still very much a Western focused in terms of that teaching side around your sun, moon, ascendant, looking at where your planets are and things like that. as it comes up, as it's important, but it can be really great to have that information, because what it is archetypes. So it provides archetypes which can give a framework which may or may not resonate, and then from that, it can be a starting point or a trigger point to actually do to perform, to work with your own growth. So that's a really
What was the two signs you said? So is it your rising sign and
well.
your
Often the three most important ones, which are this is quite basic astrology stuff, but the three more important ones are your sun, which is the month you were born, and that's defines a little bit more about, or just in short, it's more about who you are on a day-to-day basis and how we live, but it's still a very broad thing. But then you combine your moon, which is where the moon's at the time that you were born, what sign that's in. That tends to be moon's relation to our emotional sense of being. So a lot of people find that that's a really challenging one, because that's how we perceive the world. That's how that's that gut reaction. So for me, I have a Gemini moon, and that's really, I have a good, the benefit side, because every archetype or star sign has a twofold element. It's got its negative side, you could say, or its challenge rather than negative, and its positives. But the positive of that is I do often have a really good perspective or broad opinion, because I can see all sides of things in that Gemini perspective. And then the ascendant is more about the core values of relating to your core values, to what resonates with you on a deeper level. And that, for me, that's Capricorn. There's this steady growth and doing really important things. And so, yeah.
Is that to do with the time that you were born? Is that to do with the time? No.
Yes, that's to do with essentially a 2-hour window, which is where there's what planet is on the horizon, the eastern horizon, I believe it is, at the east horizon at the time that you're born, which is, and then there's a whole lot more. And of course, there's all those other elements. If we're looking at elements of the mind, of being in our heads, you're looking at how would you say, you're looking at Mercury, and then there's the Sun, the Venus, Mars, the masculine, feminine, bringing in that. So
have you got one of those workshops coming up? Have you? Because I would actually love to come to something like that.
I just had my more recent ones. The next one that will probably be will be in January, I believe. And I haven't even, I looked back, I did think yesterday, and we only just organised this yesterday, which was lovely. So thanks for that opportunity, Rona. I did think, I haven't actually added normally I add in about 3-4 months in advance of things, and everything just stops at the end of the year for me. And all I've got
because we kind of also, I mean, I think we're kind of carrying on as much as we can normal, but whatever the new normal. But I don't even know if we'd be able to do anything on here. I've got to believe that the digital thing won't happen, or maybe just because I'm setting up a VPN anyway. I'm getting a new email, but I don't know if we'll be able to get into these platforms or go somewhere else. But what I'll tell you what I really wanted to. I've talked about this a lot with, so there's a lot of people who've come on here who do different things, right? So there's Fiona, who she actually lives in Indonesia most of the time, but she does fascia release workshops. There's all kinds of things, and I envisage a big earthwormwoman event, a retreat, whatever, with all these different people doing things, and we can, over a couple of days or whatever, down the track somewhere. Doesn't have to be an earthwormwoman thing, but something which connects everyone together, like us, who wants to meet people in real life, because I think that's what we have to do more. We talk about that a lot, and share practices, and however it goes, whether that be a fee, I don't, however it goes. But I think that would be an incredible thing, like a music. Oh, kind of music there as well, but a big music festival, but it's a festival of of like-minded, but showing all their different practices and things. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's and bringing people together. I do
Yeah.
I do love that. I am just looking up because one thing I do have that I can 20.
Yeah, and if
I'm just
you
looking
can
up the
always put
book.
it on, give it to me afterwards. I can stick it on
No, I
my
would do,
page.
but I'll just say it now, just quickly in
Yeah,
terms of full moon 20 Melbourne,
absolutely.
because I do my mantalizer ones I have control of. I do that in the home studio. So I can actually pretty much do that. So that'll be on the first full moon of the year, which will be February. Okay. I think it's right on.
New Year's Eve.
Okay, it might be February the 1st by the look of it, which is
Okay.
I do use the generally, so that's so could do it on the full moon, maybe on the 31st of the not February. Yeah, it'll be the end of January, the last weekend of January, probably. Yeah, there you go. So that's that one.
Well,
But didn't
that's
mean to get too sidetracked with that. And then, for the events,
no,
quickly we go from sound through. I'm just jumping back to focus on so I can
do
address
anything,
one thing
talk about
rather than
anything.
jump too
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
And then I move on to we do a drum after the cacao ceremony. We do a drum circle. So I run medicine drum making workshops, and I've helped hundreds of people in the last 6 years make medicine drums. I think over 300 now.
I'm going to ask you about them then. What's a medicine drum? How does that work?
So they're traditionally, I did grab a couple quickly. They're traditionally, you would say, handheld things. People liken them to Native American drums, but almost every single tradition in the world, every single original nation in the world, except the Australian nation, interestingly enough, had some sort of a animal hide, and they wrapped it around a hoop or a bit of a log, and then they made drums from it. So that's really quite a beautiful, and this is this primal thing that where we can get in touch with our own rhythm, our own creativity, and it's really important for me in that natural sense to be able to share that, because this is this whole body experience. And I run this parallel of something that was happening. I believe it was in the 90s. They had the big thing around The Secret, and all these people were
Oh
talking about
yeah,
manifestation and envisioning it,
yeah,
and then it just
yeah.
all kind of drops away as everything does. But one thing that stuck out to me is that they say, "Oh, this is getting that inspiration, but then you've got to live it." And then they just said, "Just do it." So one of the first ways to just do it for me is really practically is to just start doing something else creative, and then that can spark off you doing that thing, that inspiration you have. And often
Yeah.
we set this theme. So for that night, I run that thing of the drumming is people start drumming, but doing it, and often the ones that I do here at my own home studio, I do on the full moon. So I'm
Wow.
just looking at the
So
series there.
that's someone saying good morning. Such a wealth of
Oh,
knowledge and proud
thank
as
you.
one who walks the talk. Do you know Sarah Munro Lynch? He does walk the
Beautiful
talk,
thing.
yes. So the medicine word connected with that is to do with the fact that it's a kind of a healing, or it's
Well, it's
because
medicine for the soul, and that's how
yeah,
they
sometimes
traditionally
I look
know it.
after this little boy down the road there, and he's fair enough. He's only 2.5, and he's completely attached to his mother still. And she was trying to do a yoga thing the other day, and I said, okay, I'll just take him into another room, just try and play with him out there. But he has tantrums. He's 2. Anyway, and he had a little one of those drums there, and I just started banging, playing on it. And every time I did it, he kind of stopped and listened. And I was being a bit silly because I don't know how to use it, but it was interesting because it was really having an effect on him. I mean, it was his drum anyway, but yeah, so drumming's
That's
that's my
primal, and we
thing.
notice, especially as kids, because we have this sense of play, this creativity. That's amazing. And I mean, I've come back through my times. I'm getting sidetracked here again, but we're allowed to. There's always that natural flow. That for me, something that's really important has been to live. How would you say? To be, to be flexible, to live well, and when there's a challenge, it's like this can be a trigger for a trauma. It could be anything else, you know, and we've all had
Mm,
plenty of that, especially in the last few years. Uh,
mm.
how to respond to that challenge. And as a theory, I'd always felt, how can I respond to this? And rather than getting caught in that cycle of reaction or, oh, it's too late, I'm down the hole, it's just whenever that is, it's just like, why can't it be a joy? Because as a young child, you look at often something different happens. It's like, oh, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
So it's actually transforming this perception of challenge, something hard, something really tricky, to almost finding a quiet delight at this new
Mm,
opportunity to find a different way to find things. And for me, that's been amazing. How, you know,
yeah.
redefining over COVID the things I did, and
Mm,
how I now do them, and changing that, my perceptions, looking at exploring areas of organisation across governments. You know, I'd already known a long time, had certain perceptions of religions coming between yourself and, if you want to call it God or nature or spirit, whatever that is, they're
mm.
just acting as a go-between and stopping your own natural flow. So it's just like, well, how does this work with organizations? And then my whole perception of money and what the money is has changed, and then and financial systems, and there's been
That's
these paradigm shifts that suddenly work in this new holistic way, that there is different ways of doing things. There are amazing different sort of approaches you can have, you know, from the very basics of, okay, you can do cash as much as possible, or, you
mm.
know, there are even other ways. There are private societies, there are different organizations. There's a bit of a key word in there. There's equity. I'm a
Private
student of equity.
societies. Don't
Um,
know, but
yeah, all sorts of things. Well, how do you think
well,
all the big corporations do it?
yeah,
Nothing. They're
yeah,
not owned by anything. It's all under trusts and societies.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know
Anyway,
what you're
so
saying. I've
that's a
never,
different story. So being able to
yeah,
actually
yeah.
find these structures and being able to
Mm,
even look at health. I've always lived healthily and lived
mm.
quite well. Um, but in the last year, it's changed again, and it's gotten even better, and I just, everything's just working on. And if I don't
Yes.
do the proper food thing, it doesn't matter. It's actually really beautiful. It's like, oh yes,
Mm,
this is awesome, because what's overriding thing over anything is our belief, our sense of knowing, of, okay, this channels, because this is our natural, not connection, our natural way of being, our assimilation with, if you want to refer to the spirit, the upper world of God,
mm,
if you want to refer to it as nature, however you do, it's that sense of being, that sense of unity, and bringing us into this moment of now.
mm.
Uh,
What other
Sidetrack.
sort
And I was going to talk
Mm,
about my thing, so I'll just run in. So I do a drum
mm,
circle. Then there's a
mm.
whole lot to that, and that's this beautiful creative process where people start sparking off. Then we go off with that session and come and do a sound meditation, and that's all about. Then that's an individual journey. So people reset up and they go off into the cozy, warm studio, because, you know, when I do it in here in Mount Eliza, we do it on the full moon, and I've got a sacred geometry out here, just a 4 meter one with and we do it around the fire, and, you know, so we drum outside around fire under the full
Mm.
moon, and just get that connection with nature, and, you know, get barefoot if we can. Well, I love barefoot anyway. That's just another one of my
Yes,
things.
that's
Um,
yeah. No, I was telling you because you do barefoot running, don't you?
yeah, it's a bit of a unique thing. Which, there's, you know, there's a few groups, you know, globally.
Do
There's we've
people?
got a few
Do you
groups.
get many
Was that?
people like? Many people kind of watch you for that, or kind of do you feel they're kind of a bit strange? Do they think it's a bit strange? Probably not where you are. They would round.
Oh
No,
no,
actually, no,
people
they
look at me
wouldn't.
all the time. You
Yeah,
know, I'm the guy and again, I live in about a kilometre from the beach where I am, and I'll run down the beach and then along the beach. So that's kind of probably quite normal. And
yeah.
on a yeah, I'll also a thing about vitamin D and the importance of that came in through COVID, and while I was doing my running there all that time, and I'd just go off, and then people would go, and it's like, so then I grew into this thing of, okay, you need to get the sun on your skin. That's actually important, and the best thing is as
Mm,
much of your skin as possible. So I was running, you know, bare feet, and if it's a hot day, I'd even go running in my underwear, like literally.
mm.
Why bother with extra layers? So I probably don't care enough about social norms about things like that. But
Absolutely. I was going to say do that, because I find that people don't notice, they, unless you actually really approach them. Like I think I told you about the jellyfish the other day, and most people they don't want to see, or they don't see. They got their ear pods, or whatever they're called, and
yeah,
just like there, that's where they are. They're focused. They're there. And so I love it when I go to the beach. I haven't really for a while, but I go to the beach every day. But sometimes I just like singing to the sea,
yes.
really loudly. And I think, well, no
Yeah,
one cares anyway. No one's. What are they going to say? Excuse me, you're singing out of tune or whatever. But throw caution to the wind, so to speak. Exactly.
yeah.
Victoria says, but yeah, I'm with you. I'm a really don't care anymore person. I mean, I'm looking out for jellyfish, for pufferfish now, but and there were two there this morning. But there's just there's a layer of something that's kind of come off even further these last few years. There's this belief system and trust, and it's really good. It's really positive.
Wow.
I think a lot of people are feeling that now, feeling like, well, we knew in our gut doesn't really matter, we're doing the right thing. We tried to warn people. We tried to tell as many people as we could. And now even more, we know that we're going a certain way. That's what I think, anyway. That we are. I think a lot of people feel that we are definitely going somewhere else. As far as being on this planet, or being in this, what do you call it, dimension?
Oh yeah, that takes it to a huge thing to me. So I reflect back on people saying, no, but it's happening, and things are changing. And there was a big thing back in 2000. It's all going to happen, and then
Oh
suddenly
yeah.
there was another huge moment that came in 2012, of course, with the end of the Mayan calendar and the start of the new age, which it was always supposed to be. And people are like, oh, apocalypse, and there are all sorts of things there. But one thing that sat out, which was really fascinating about those ongoing things, is it was the start of the new age, but it would take another, and I think it would take, and the way that's worded in Maine, and I'm not an expert by all means, but it will take, it said it will take an age. So this is there, that wasn't an age, but it would take an age or a cycle, I believe it said.
Yeah.
It says
Yes.
for this to take effect. And the Mayan cycles, they've got a day, a moon month, and their year, and then their next cycle is 7 years. So it was really quite fascinating that 7 years later, we've got some big global events that happen in a very
Yeah.
different way than what we expect.
I don't remember the
So
2012, but I definitely remember that turning into 2000, because I'd only come from England in 1999, and so I didn't really know any people. And I was in New South Wales. I had no kids or anything then. On a beach with some people, and I remember it was coming up to midnight, and I just walked away from them and looked out to sea, because everyone thought that everything was just going to end, didn't they? At midnight or whatever.
yeah,
Kind of felt, well, what was going to happen? And I just remember doing this kind of crying, so this purging kind of crying just came out of me, and it was really, and I knew it was really significant. I didn't know what it was, but maybe it was about a new start, because I was making a new start here. And then midnight came. I didn't see anything physical happen, but yeah, it's really interesting, those things for life. They're individual things probably as well. I think a
I
few people are
felt that as
telling
you
me
were
that
saying it
they're
too.
going through it. Sorry?
I felt that as you were saying it too. It was a
Mm.
real huge
Oh, I
time,
mean,
that
it was like
2000.
uncontrollable crying, like sobbing kind of thing, to the sea. I'm a water sign, so and it's interesting because a lot of people currently are going through quite a lot of depression, emotional stuff, which is it feels like it's purging sort of stuff. They say,
Yeah.
there's no real reason, but well, yeah, I can see someone's got a laughing emoji up there. I hope they weren't laughing at. Oh, that was Belinda. Okay, she's probably laughing at the tomato. Yeah.
So when we're jumping topics, but at the same time,
Mm.
I hear what you're saying around it being a big time in that time and people going through personal change. So you were talking about this astrological thing and you felt that was a huge thing. And then others were saying the world was going to end, but it just shifted. And you were still going
Something.
through your journey because our own individual journeys are the most important one. And that's
Yeah.
what's happening with it could be our physical family, it could be our friends, our loved ones, it could be just you being alone in yourself. And one
Yeah.
thing that's really pertinent to now, and it sounds, I'm aware that for some it sounds really hard. This the idea of image, and that's really important. That on a lot of social media things, there
Mm.
is this thing that everyone looks perfect and does the perfect stuff, and
Oh,
everything
yeah.
is. But then
That's.
there's this other real side that a lot of people are going through challenges and change, and
Mm.
how
It's
to
so
respond to that.
destructive. It's so
Uh,
destructive. I mean, and how old you? You've got a daughter. I've got a 21-year-old, and that's it. It's so destructive. I find it. I just want to throw it all away because it's just they're just not living their lives properly because of this stuff. All of this whole perfect image thing, Yeah, I totally agree. Sorry, go
mm.
ahead. You were saying
So
that.
no, it is beautiful, and it is important to have that sense of compassion for this situation because it is really huge. Now, for myself, I've been going through my own changes in my life. I've got big things happening with again, um, late teens, kind of finishing school and going through
Mm.
homeschooling stuff, and
Oh, have you
um,
homeschooled? Yeah.
not going to school and various sort of other things and big challenges. My father passed away in June,
Yeah,
and
my father
that
passed away in
journey.
May. Yeah,
Oh,
remember that. But he was quite old. Yeah.
yeah.
But I lost
I mean, for
both my
those.
parents in the last few years, which is quite
Oh,
interesting.
yeah.
I'd love to ask my mother. I can't remember if I was born in the morning or the evening. I had my astrology chart done ages ago, but I can't
Okay.
ask her anymore. Um, but yeah, no, the young people. So I've talked a lot about this, and I'd love to do more on it because yeah. So yours are like don't want to go to school, or are they volunteering to do
Well, my daughter's
homeschooling?
just finished year 12.
Yeah.
She's
Okay.
just off
Good.
on schoolies now, and she's 19. My son's. Yeah, he's the school system that he was going to. They were going to a Steiner school, the best Steiner school that
Okay.
around,
Yep.
Melbourne Rudolph Steiner School in Warrenwood, and but yeah, it wasn't so suited to him, and for various reasons, he's doing unschooling, you would say,
Yep.
and he's just
Yep.
going through that journey, kind of transitioning it. But it's been good. It's actually, that's responding to things. He was also in his mother's care full time. Now he's in my care full time. So
Mm.
it's just finding new ways of doing things.
Do you know Deborah? Deborah, I'm pretty sure. Well, she's a Steiner teacher. I'm not sure if she's at that school. Deborah Albrecht.
Albrecht. No,
She's
I'm not
come.
sure if
She
my.
was, yeah, she was doing something on Thursdays with me, but
Okay, no, I'm not sure I do.
yeah. So
Yeah.
Steiner, how did that get affected? Oh, well, that's going off to a whole nother tangent. But yeah, my kids were just finishing, and the last few years during the whole COVID things, it was awful. They had those young people had like us, but had years stolen from them.
Well, overall, the Steiner School held it well in terms of the social side and an inclusive element for people
Mm.
overall. But yeah, at the same time, that there were things that affected the kids. There's another thing that typically in Steiner schools, they don't focus much on technology. And that was
Yeah.
actually a big failing for this time, which means that none of the teachers could actually use Zoom. That, they really struggled with that for that
Yeah.
online teaching side. So
Mm.
it really put a very different perspective on it in terms of that.
I tell
Um,
you what, though, I mean, because my daughter did do the Zoom classes in that time, but all they did was they turned their cameras off, so no one was paying any attention.
yeah.
I don't think they were beneficial at all, you know?
No, it was very disruptive, and socially, it's
Mm.
quite crippling for the kids.
Mm.
It was a challenging time, definitely. I Yeah, I kind of reflect on that. It's big, so it was big for me, and it's huge for the kids and the way they bring it, and that's going to be reflected over and over, and that's coming
Mm.
into the digital addictions and things of today, and
Yeah.
this lack of focus on community, and then coming back around to, like you were saying, the sense of loss that people have, this sense of loneliness, and even if they've got a full family, they've got things. There's It's actually coming out in a really strong way, that there is that. So an important moment, which is always coming through very potently for this time, is a really important thing is to find passion in what you're doing. And you don't have to change what you're doing, but find passion in and reason. So for
Yeah.
anyone,
Yeah.
and I find that those who aren't passionate, who are just going along with it and doing whatever, they're finding themselves often quite distraught emotionally. There are various health issues that are coming up a lot more frequently, by coincidence or not, however you want to
Mm.
think that. But there's a lot of health
Mm.
issues going on in the world, and the less people pay attention to their own listening to their body, their own sense of listening to local community and local things, and there's all these big things happening in the world, and taking it away from themselves,
Yeah.
the more everything falls apart. And one thing,
Yes.
noticing, the more we can just bring it back to ourself, whether it going for a walk in the garden, whether it just spending time with family, getting away from things, and listening to nature and our own inner body.
Mm.
There's this
I
huge divide
agree.
that some people are doing really well, and
And,
I'm doing well.
yeah, I feel I'm doing well too. I'm always working ahead as well. I'm working on, like I said, I'm going to make this film,
Yeah,
and right now it's just like I'm manifesting it. I'm going to do it because I see it, and it's going to happen. But it hasn't really got anything solid. Got the script, got the actors, and all that, but I still haven't got location. But I was just going to say, I wouldn't, this whole digital whatever ID supposedly we might all have to be going towards. I wonder if it's just another way of separating us, because people have come together online, whether they've been able to physically meet up, but it's been very good to get communities, get people going. Look on here, get people come back every week, and the original Cafe Locked-Out and everything, people have been all over the world coming together with like-minded and stories and everything. I just wonder whether it's another way for them to be trying to trying to disrupt all the time and separate people. And, we have to either now get each other's phone numbers, all of these people, or I guess you can do emails and things like that. And we've been talking about this a lot. Like, we really have to have some more physical meets. But at the same time, how dare they sort of do that again? Like they're doing to our weather. I get like, how dare they steal our spring?
it's really it's really challenging, but also fascinating. So taking the challenge, the problem,
Mm,
transferring it from a problem to a challenge, and then into an opportunity. What does that
mm,
mean? So we're also talking about the flip side of all this, that so many people are ridiculously um, uh, caught in their own despair. and sorry, we weren't talking about this element so much, but I was touching on it. But
Mm.
then there's the digital thing that we do have a digital addiction. So that what they're threatening to take our digital life away from us, which is our addiction, which is the problem.
Yeah. Well, addiction.
It's what
It
would
is an
happen if we
addiction. You're
didn't?
right. Yes. Yeah.
So what
I
would
know.
happen if we lost that problem? Would we find new ways? And will there be a divide? So this is people naturally choosing the path that they want.
Yeah.
So rather
Yeah.
than engaging in a fight saying, I want this and all my rights, but there always are other ways. And maybe we might lose the more common social media platforms, but there'll be
Mm.
other platforms. You know, there's you've got Telegram, Signal, you've got all sorts of things.
Yeah.
Maybe that they'll go to, maybe not. But there'll always
Rumble,
be some
Odyssey.
element in a different way to still share on that wider community and
That's
then
right.
come back to local community.
What we might actually gain is time, because it is so easy to, just got to check. Oh, just got to check,
Yeah.
Facebook or something. Or it's like now you're just bombarded with all these ridiculous ads all the time. But I agree. And seeing it as a positive. Yeah, thanks. You're helping us get off screen time.
So it is. It's what's the paradigm shift that you can get, and it's really quite beautiful to turn it around like that and to come back to that childlike wonder of, oh, how else can we do it?
Yeah. Yeah. So Jan's somebody, she's separation, communities and friends. Yeah, possibly. But like Brad says, we have to find the other ways. And I'll be visiting you anyway, Jan, when I make Maroon, because I'll be bringing it with me. I'll travel around Australia. Hopefully.
And the film sounds really epic, and I'm sure the venue will come. I'm not sure if you've described it briefly in the short chat we had yesterday.
Yeah, no, the location has to be somewhere which is just blank. So some people said we've talked about is it called a sound studio or something, which has got no windows, just white, something like that. Something that's rustic. It's like they're in a waiting room in the afterlife, so it can be just somewhere with no windows, things like that. But it will come.
Oh, yeah, so the location's quite flexible. I love the idea of that's a different area, but maybe it's adaptable. Like I mentioned, I love the idea of nature, just being out on a quiet day in the bush too.
Yeah, but they're trapped. They're trapped. So it has to be that
that's
they're
the whole point. Yeah.
yeah, they're and it just brings home once you've done it, kind of thing.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, and I reckon that would be you'll be able to find that venue easy
Absolutely.
in the film. It'll
Yeah. I'm working with 2 other women at the moment, and one's been a bit sick. Jennifer, I hope you're better. And yeah, we have to have a physical meeting about stuff. There's been all these other things come. I don't even know what's happened the last few weeks. But yeah, so we will all keep together. We'll stick together somehow. And there are platforms. I haven't checked out like Odyssey. At the beginning we were looking at those things BitChute because they were safer places to come across things. A Telegram I can never work out.
It is a bit clunky. They're all more clunky than the social media platforms, but they don't have the same ads or anything.
No. Yeah, or things pushed in your face. If you say something, they've heard you, and find that a lot.
To me, it's important just to live the way that I'd like to live. So again, obviously we've got to do responsibility, earn our money, whatever we need to do.
Yep. Doing that. No, so he's talking about, that's right, Jason. It is a waiting room. And I once did a film last year or sometime, and it was shot in the bottom of the Alfred Hospital, I think it was. No, it wasn't the Alfred. It was somewhere, another hospital near the city. And I thought, when I was sitting there, I was going, oh, this is a fantastic location. So I might actually try and approach a hospital about using rooms that aren't used, because it is set in a waiting room in the
Yeah.
afterlife. But anyway, the play is going to, we're doing that first. So if people want to come and see that, I know you can't because a lot of people aren't in Melbourne area. They're up in, a lot of these people are, I don't know where Jason is, in New South
So you
Wales
are
or
doing one
something.
in Melbourne, are you?
It's in Corarook, but after that, I hope to bring it back to Melbourne and the outskirts. Like I said, I would like it needs to come down to the peninsula because that's an area we did go to Frankston briefly quite a few years back, but the play's been going on and off for a while, and we were invited up to Canberra for the army. We did it at the army barracks here, but we were invited to perform to the chief of army and all the VIPs. Like this is like 2019, I think, and they wanted to take it all over Australia. They said this is a revolution in suicide prevention. No, Jan wants to do an old-fashioned chat on the phone. That's right, and I do that too. I called you the other day. So anyway, so I don't have to talk about Marooned anymore. But so anything. So you've got a workshop maybe in February or on the full moon, but
So what I typically offer, if you're just doing a summary, and I do see that it's near 11, I believe you finish up soon.
it doesn't have to be spot on the dot.
I typically
Dot on the
offer on an ongoing
on the dot.
basis. I do medicine drum making workshops, which I'll do usually once every 2-3 months. I believe I'm doing one at again, this is all local based, but I'm happy to travel too. I'm doing some fly-ins. I'm doing one in the Gold Coast, it's the Sunshine Coast. That's probably going to be a fly-in in February, the end of Feb.
Yeah.
I'm doing one at the start of Feb in the Basin, so that's sort of down at the base of the hills around Melbourne. I've started doing them at getting hosts to do it, which is quite beautiful because that they get together their community of people, which works really well, and it's kind of nice to go and travel to someone's area. I'm happy to do them here where I do, but it's nice to get out in nature and stuff.
The Sunshine Coast
will be really nice.
There's quite a few people there.
What's that?
Tell me whenever the Sunshine Coast, because there's quite a few people I know who live up there. I've been meaning to go up and visit them. I've got to go.
Yeah, I like doing trips. I've done some road trips where I've done a series of drum making workshops as I've gone, which has been really quite cool.
Yeah, fantastic.
But yeah, Sunshine Coast, I haven't made it up to yet. I've had one booked and then it had to get cancelled because of the host. Something happened. But,
so they organise it and they just invite you to come.
I'll organise it with someone. I put up the event and they might get some people or have a full house, or I often I've got a fair size following online too, so people often come in. So and I do
Is
that
your
for the
last
host.
name Marmion? I mean, sorry, Marmion.
On.
So is that the best way for people to contact you, or?
So yeah, I suppose if you're doing online socials on the main platforms, it's Brad Marmion. My website's natural-alchemy, so it's a dash in the middle .org.
Let's put that one up. Natural.
And there's a contact list you can go into about me, and I think there's a mailing list on naturalalchemy.org. There's also a calendar.
Is it underscore or is it hyphen? It's a hyphen, yeah.
Hyphen.
Yeah.
I can send it. I think you can get it.
Okay.
So natural alchemy. Yeah. So I run an alternative structure. It's
and then is it .com? Did you say?
No, .org.
.org. .org. Okay, I'll put that there. Oh, Jan followed your last road trip. There we go. Have I got that right?
Yep, that looks good.
Yeah. Great. Yeah. So, I mean, I haven't even touched on all the sprouts I saw the other day.
I love doing sprouts. And in an apartment, you can do that so easily. If you're looking about cost value and organic and things like that, if you're looking at even conventional, you pay, I think conventional ones, you pay $4 and I think it's $8 in the shops for a small tub.
Oh, yeah,
It
yeah,
costs
yeah.
about 20 cents for a tub if you grind it
I
all down,
used to
and
do those
it really
things
takes 5
exactly.
minutes.
Mm. I used to do those things years ago,
Yeah.
and even when I was in England, I used to make kombucha. Have the big, what do you call it, thing, the big
Yeah,
smelly
I've
thing.
done kombucha. I'm not making that at the
Sco
moment, the SCOBY.
Scobies?
I have a
Yeah,
drum here, so I'm gonna grab something.
made of kombucha? No. Made of a SCOBY.
2 seconds, just a quick.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This here is a drum. It looks like kind of a normal drum, but it's actually a broken one, so you can see a split in it if you do. This was
Mm.
the first SCOBY drum I made. So this was made out of the SCOBY of a. So
Wow,
for
it is a
people who are
SCOBY drum.
vegan and stuff like that, I've been developing this medicine drum, and you'll see it's actually made. And I've had this. This sounded beautiful. It was the first one. The thing
Mm.
is, I need to get big SCOBYs, and I have a supplier, but he's I've been having trouble getting in. Well, I've just been too lazy. I need to get to Dalesford on every second Sunday, which isn't, and then I can go and get more. But soon
Oh,
enough, I'll be running vegan drum making workshops too again, and
wow,
they're
amazing. That's
beautiful. It smells amazing too.
But yeah, it's like you said, little things. It just takes a little bit more effort. Just have it and do it, set it up, and you're saving yourself all kinds of things. Yeah, I don't those seeds, those sprouts. I agree, so expensive. What I'm doing is collecting seeds as much as I can. I was told that they'll be really worth something. So lemon seeds, lemon pips, and pumpkin seeds, whatever, mandarin. I got some mandarins the other day, or a while back, organic ones.
Yeah, it's fascinating. All these people go and buy seeds in packets, and it's like, buy yourself a ripe tomato.
Yeah, haven't done tomatoes. Yeah, but that's right. I know Kim, who was on there earlier. I don't know if she's still there. She was made all incredible land she had full of her own seeds. I believe she planted everything from her own seeds, and she had almond trees and all kinds of things. But yeah, it just puts that little bit more. Don't worry about going and buying everything.
Yeah,
So there's another.
I could spend
There's a guy called
hours.
Survival Seeds that we need to support. I must get him back on.
Yeah.
He's a. They're really good things because he's one of us and he's been helping a lot of people. Anyway, I thank you so much for coming on today and talking about all your different things. Suppose you're going to go for are you still going for a run today, or was it your foot's not good?
No, it's an off day today.
It's not today.
Tomorrow I'll head out for a run.
But I'm just going to say, if anybody does want to go to Maroon, there's 4 tickets that Jan offered. Please, I'll just put up the Earthworm Woman email, but I'm changing it to Proton Mail. Please send me a thing, and I'll send you the tickets at gmail.com. And if you want to come along, or if you don't want to come along, send someone else along. So anyway, thank you so much. And this is the end. This is how it goes.
Thank you.
Have a lovely day.
Cheers. Bye.
See ya. Bye-bye. And thanks everyone for watching today. I am not just a product made to satisfy the pocket, nor do I require the same fame others seek. I desire your heart, the passions that make you a woman, any woman, every woman. My scents are a representation of purpose, courage, confidence, each botanical ingredient a praise of thanksgiving and self-care. The way I feel upon your flesh, a comfort of nourishment, as I feed dehydrated and depleted layers of skin, bursting for a new life of regrowth and youthfulness. If I stir your soul with each application, let it be known that you, too, are an intimate duet woman.